Hey, beautiful soul. Welcome to Spirit Speakeasy. I'm Joy Giovanni, Joyful Medium. I'm a working psychic medium, energy healer, and spiritual gifts mentor. This podcast is like a seat at the table in a secret club, but with mediums, mystics, and the spiritual luminaries of our time. So come behind the velvet ropes with me and see inside my world as I chat insider style with profoundly gifted souls. We go deep, share juicy stories, laugh a lot, and it wouldn't be a speakeasy without great insider secrets and tips. You might even learn that you have some gifts of your own. So step inside the Spirit Speakeasy. Hey, beautiful soul, welcome to the Spirit Speakeasy. Today we are going to talk about one of my very best favorite archangels, Archangel Raphael. I'm going to teach you on a podcast. We'll see how this works. I'm going to teach you how to do your own little healing for yourself. Not little, short, powerful healing with Archangel Raphael for yourself. Before we get into that, I'm going to clear my throat. And I know how to turn off the mic for that. I have to tell you, as I'm recording this, I'm just recording this the weekend before it's being released, so this is real time, just about. I am in Southern California, as many of you know, and we have been having some crazy weather these last few weeks. We have been having so much wind and torrential downpours of rain, which no complaints. We need the rain. I do love the sunshine and all of the lush greenery we have here, but we need the rain to get that. And, we're always slipping into drought here. So no complaints on the rain, but the weather has really been kicking up some allergens, some dust, some who knows what else, pollens and things. So if my voice is a little froggy today or a little strange, that is why. I hope it stays mostly normal for us, but we'll see. And since it's been so rainy, I haven't been able to do my normal walk and ponders, which is actually where I get a lot of inspiration for the shows that we're going to do, the episodes, these solo episodes with just you and I, these more intimate chats, the guest episodes. It's where I do a lot of my own processing and where I get a lot of inspiration, both for this show and in my work. And since it's been, a little bit of weather here, which we're not used to in SoCal, but since we've had the rain, I haven't been outside walking. And just the other day, I was looking and there are the most beautiful, these like orange tubal flowers growing out of this lush green plant. And it is attracting, feeding, nurturing and nourishing all of these amazing little hummingbirds in my neighborhood. And it was just such a treat to get to see, because I think sometimes, we forget that storms often bring beautiful things on the other side. And I just was thinking about that and thinking about all of the greenery that's starting to sprout, even though it's still been pretty cold for us this time of year. Nature herself is ready for spring, I think, like the rest of us. So a lot of plants are in bloom. And with that lush greenery, I was thinking of Archangel Raphael. That is the color that he is most often thought of in. That is how I experience him. And just was getting a little inspiration about what we should talk about today, and was reminded that early in my training, if you guys listened to that episode where I was introducing myself and telling you how I went from WWE diva to psychic medium, I talked a little bit about my initial training with my amazing master teacher that I met in the ice cream truck. And early on, when I was learning Reiki and spiritual healing and starting to understand the psychic development a little bit, if you will, I was really attracted to working with angels. It felt safe to me. I had an understanding from my background, went to Catholic school when I was a little kiddo. So I had an understanding of what I thought angels were. They felt safe. It felt very positive and loving and light energy. So I wanted to learn how to do healing with angels. And that was one of the things I did early on in my development within the first few years, I want to say, was get an understanding for several different archangels, how they could work with me, how I could work with them, how I could honor them. And Archangel Raphael was one of the first and is one of the most consistent. One of the ones I work with most consistently, even still. I work with him all the time in my healing sessions, and even in the other types of sessions that I do. I often like to have an angel in the room, and he is one that I frequently invite, like several times a week. So I thought it would be just really fun to teach you guys on a podcast. We'll see if we can do it. Like I said, it's something that I've done in the Joy Soul Spa Facebook group, and everyone always loves when I do the Archangel Raphael healings, which are really fun. But I thought, maybe I could teach you guys how to understand him and how to do a little bit of work with him on your own. I had to get a sip of water. Part of this weather is making me extra thirsty. So we'll get into that. We'll talk about, how you can recognize him, how you might work with him. But I just quickly want to touch into the idea of angels. I want to make it really clear that you don't have to subscribe to, belong to, agree with, resonate with any particular faith to work with the energies of these archangels. They don't only work or belong with one religion. They are accessible to everybody. You don't then have to practice in any specific way. It can be just a positive, loving, healing, um, light force or light being that you work with. It doesn't have to, it doesn't exclude anything you're already doing, and it doesn't, you don't have to sign up for any new beliefs to work with him. I hope I'm making myself clear. I try to say it in all the ways because I know, we each are individual sensitive souls, and we hear things differently and receive messages differently, all of us in different ways. So also I want to acknowledge that I do refer to Archangel Raphael with the pronoun he. For me, he, Archangel Raphael, feels a bit more masculine leaning. I understand it in a way that our archangels, angels, the angelic realm don't have a gender. They're not beings that are assigned masculine or feminine. It doesn't work that way. And because, as you may know, hopefully, if you don't, you're about to learn, we all have masculine and feminine energy within us, every one of us, regardless of the gender that we identify as in the world. So we each have, an equal amount of masculine energy available to us and feminine energy available to us on a spectrum. So I feel Archangel Raphael leaning more masculine. So I refer to him as he. He is generally referred to as he, but just wanting to make it clear that there's no gender assignment in the angelic realm. So that is just a pronoun. And that's why I use it that way. I am wondering if there's any other frequently asked questions that I should answer about Archangel Raphael, but I have to say he is one of the most accessible angels. So in that pocket of time when I was learning all about the angels, I learned how to heal with angel therapy. I learned how to read angel cards. I was understanding each of the archangels and understanding guardian angels and what the angelic realms can help us with. They do have a bit of a different vibration feeling to the energy of them. Um, I tend to feel them as very high vibrational, very light. And I mean light as in the quality of bright light. And I also mean light as in versus heavy. So I feel them as very, very light energy, always positive, always divinely loving, always here to support us. But remember, we are here in this lifetime, in this human experience, to have our own growth, our own learning, our own choices, our own free will, and our own experience. So the archangels are never going to fix it all for us, if you will. They're not like extra Santa Claus figures that we give a laundry list of things we want to. So I just like to make that clear too, because sometimes I think we misunderstand what some of these tools are for. The other thing is, I just want to touch in quickly as to healing. What do I mean by healing? I know often, and one of my very best favorite mediums and my mentor Andy Bing does a lecture about this, and if you ever have a chance, I recommend that you check it out. There is something to be explained about healing. Now, like I said, bits of this come from a version of a lecture that Andy does. When I talk about healing, I'm not talking about in the traditional medical sense of the word, uh, to to put back like it was before. I don't mean to erase as though no pain, no trauma, no nothing that we're healing from never existed. It's not like that. The way that it works with healing, spiritual healing, energy healing, is more of, if you think of a tree and if you think of a tree that was like struck by lightning, for example, that's the trauma. And one of the big branches breaks. Doesn't break off completely, but just cracks and is hanging down. Now, that tree, if it can, will work to heal itself. So it will find a way to still nourish and get supply to the branch that has cracked if it's still attached. And it grows strong and it supports and it creates some sort of new knob or knot, and really continues to thrive if it can. So that's the type of healing I mean, where it's just not making it as though something was never there or something never happened, but fortifying, strengthening, nourishing, and helping to grow in a stronger, different, or slightly new direction. That's how it is with spiritual healing. Sometimes it's helping us move through difficult emotions. Sometimes it's helping us have inspiration or come more into balance or understand our wellness better. There's all kinds of things that Reiki, spiritual healing, energy healing, healing with angels, there's all kinds of things that healing can do. But there are no magic cures. So I always like to, not only as a disclaimer, but just as a piece of understanding, I don't believe in any kind of snake oil, magic cure, wand waving. I just don't think any of that's real. I think even with a physical illness, by the time that it shows up in our body, manifests in the physical body as an illness, we need to use Western medicine if that's what we need to use. So this is not a replacement for any type of medical professional or medical treatment. Please seek that out as you need. I believe that this is just a different form of healing. It's healing the layers of the auric field. It's healing within our emotional body. It's healing within our spiritual body, which affects the physical body. In my life, I'll just speak from my own experience. There have been times where I have had so much trauma and stress and anxiety that I become physically ill, that I have created ulcers within my own body from the level of stress and trauma that I was under for a period of time. It's an emotional cause, but it's a physical manifestation. So I can work on healing the emotions, understanding the emotions, the trauma, and then sometimes the physical symptoms change, become more manageable, sometimes go away depending on the severity. So that's one example of how it can help. And truly, healing with Archangel Raphael has helped me quite a bit. That in combination with, you guys know, I love Reiki. It's one of the loves of my life is Reiki, and the other energy healing tools in the way I understand them. So, with all of this energy work, it's helped me immensely. I got to a place where I was incredibly anxious all the time. I still, I know we're just getting to know each other still. So I'm still always deciding how much I should share about my own trauma. And I never, I'm always very cautious. I don't believe myself to be a victim, and I never want to appear to be portraying myself as one. So that's why sometimes I don't share about certain things. But, I had some pretty severe stuff happen in my life at different times that just caused me to be a very anxious person, very worried, very stressed, very on edge, and really, like we talk about in the Soul Spa group, um, really just shoving down my emotions as much as possible. And it was causing all kinds of problems in my physical body, in, just the way I was feeling all the time, in my energy level. And we can create sickness if through emotion, I believe, as one of the ways. So let's shift gears and talk a little bit more about Archangel Raphael. He is one of what's considered like the main archangels, which I guess means he's on the popular side, maybe. He often appears or is depicted or understood in a beautiful emerald green light or energy. If you think of just a really rich springtime emerald green, that is the color that he's most often experienced or depicted as. But, when we work with these tools, if you feel him in a different color or experience a different color, whether through, seeing it or just feeling it or sensing it, um, that's okay too. So honor the way that you work, but this is just generally how he's understood. So he is the Archangel of Healing, as I mentioned. Some lesser known gifts or areas of focus for him, if you will, are he also works with relationships. So if you're in your life, if there are relationships you're wanting to heal, um, he often works with soulmates as well, finding soulmate relationships. I'm going to do a whole nother episode about soulmates because I know it's kind of a buzzword. I know it's often misunderstood what it is. Soulmates don't always mean romantic partners, so he helps with all of the soulmate relationships, but also relationships in general and travel, which maybe doesn't seem like those all go together, but I bet we could think of lots of ways that they do. So he's great to call on for any of those things if you need any kind of healing, if you're working on anything in any kind of relationship or anything around travel, safe travel, easy travel, wanting to travel, anything like that. He is wonderful for all of those things. Now, I want to do a little exercise with you where I'm going to have you close your eyes. So if you are one of our amazing listeners who likes to listen while you're driving, please don't do this exercise while you're driving. Be safe. Everyone use your smarts. If you're in a place where it's safe to do so, we can close eyes. If you're not, you could just pause this and pick it back up later and listen to the exercise later. The great thing is, the way it's going to be posted, you can come back and visit it and do this exercise as much as you want. So you can practice with it, you can play with it, you can start to have some working understanding of Archangel Raphael, which is so cool. So I'm going to get a sip of water. And if you're in a place that is safe to do so, start to let your eyes rest closed. Now, normally when I do any kind of guided meditation, there's a period of silence. However, that is not very traditional to do on a podcast. So we're not going to have a moment of silence. I'm going to just talk through the whole thing. That's why I'm considering this a bit more of an exercise than a meditation. But I am going to teach you how to call in or invite in Archangel Raphael to do a little healing with you. And then we'll just do a little healing experience. And then you can let me know how it was for you. I'm really excited to do this. I just think it's going to be kind of fun. So, if you've got your eyes closed, just start to bring your awareness to that breath, sustaining us, filling us with the oxygen we need to breathe, and not needing to change it or control it, but just letting it be rhythmic and just noticing it. Good. And as you do that, just allow yourself to start to quiet your thoughts. The way I usually say it is bringing all of your attention, all of your awareness right into the center of your head, letting yourself be right behind your eyes. I sometimes think of it as like myself inside a little cockpit driving this big old body around, but you can use any visual that works for you, or imagine it in any way that you like. Just bringing all of your awareness right into the center of your head. And just for these few minutes of exercise, letting the outside world just fade away. Good. From that space in the center of your head, just get a sense of, imagine, feel your auric field, which is really just your personal space bubble. I mean, it's much more than that, but that's how we usually identify it. So just start to get a sense of your own personal space bubble. And if you're not quite sure what that is, if you were to stand in a line at a grocery store and someone stood really close behind you and it was uncomfortable, that means they're inside your personal space bubble. And you would want them to take a giant step backwards, right out of your space. And wherever abouts they would be when you would feel comfortable, that's your bubble. So you've just got a bubble of energy, your own energy, all around you that we most easily identify as our personal space. Good. So just getting a sense for where that is. It's often like a big egg of our own energy around us. And see if you can feel where the edges are. How expanded is yours? Is it really contracted tight to you? Is it really expanded out, filling up the whole room? And as you get a sense of where your personal space bubble is, how far out it's stretched, just with your intention, allow that bubble to be just about an arm's distance on all sides of you. You don't need to do anything special to make this happen, just your intention, your allowing is enough. Just imagine that personal space bubble about an arm's distance on all sides, above, below, like an egg of your own energy just surrounding you. Good. Remember to breathe. Good. And then I just want you to envision, imagine, sense, feel a beautiful emerald green light off in the distance, off to one side. Good. And gently, slowly, smoothly, and calmly, that light gradually starts to come just a little bit closer, almost like it is hovering, floating, closer and closer towards you. Good. And as you continue to become more and more aware of this green light gently approaching, just let it start to move to one side of you and sense which side that is. It might be your left, it might be your right. Archangel Raphael tends to come to my right. That's just me. It could be anywhere in your space. And as this green light approaches and comes beside you, just imagine inviting this green light of Archangel Raphael into your personal space bubble and allow him to stand just behind you, off to one side slightly. So behind and off to one side just a little bit. Or if there's somewhere else you'd like him to stand, you can choose that. There aren't really hard and fast rules here. Just feel that green light emanating. Feel it over your shoulder. You might feel a sensation of warming or cooling or tingling or just a subtle, subtle awareness or presence of Archangel Raphael. It will feel very subtle for most of you. It always feels very subtle for me. You might be able to sense that color, that emerald green. You might be able to feel just a slight change in that space behind and off to one side. And just imagine over your shoulder, Archangel Raphael passing to you a bubble of emerald green energy about the size of a basketball. And you don't have to actually move your hands to pick it up, just with your imagination, take it in your hands and allow that green bubble about the size of a basketball allow it to float down to your right foot, almost like you just let it go and it just floats down like a soft bubble of emerald green energy about the size of a basketball. And let it cover your whole right foot. So just like you were going to put your right foot inside this green basketball of light, and just let yourself feel in that right foot the energy there. Get a sense of it. Say hello to it, is the way we used to say it. And as you say hello to that bubble that Archangel Raphael has given you of his healing light, just allow it to start to float up towards that right knee, infusing that right knee with healing, with love, with clarity, and see if you can feel or sense that energy. You are receiving healing right now, but we're also just playing with the energy because I want you to get a little bit of a feeling for what it feels like. It's kind of the fun part of this work. Good. And then let that continue to rise up your calf, up your thigh, your quad. And just let that ball of green energy to move around right to your low back. And if you're someone that has low back tension or discomfort or challenges with any of the organs near your low back, just imagine gently leaning your energy back into that green basketball-sized ball of light. Imagine it soothing, emitting, healing light into that area of your low back. Maybe you sit a lot and it gets uncomfortable. Maybe you stand a lot and it gets uncomfortable. And if you're like me, you love high heels and sometimes it gets a little achy from that. Maybe you feel great, but you just want to feel what that energy feels like there. So just let yourself feel that area of your lower back, feel that green light energy just radiating up, moving up, expanding out. Good. Can you feel that? Even if you can't, just know it's still working. You're just learning to become sensitive to the energy in your space, and it's a process. And honestly, there's some days even now where I can feel things just slightly more than others, but it's always very, very subtle. And some days I can't sense anything, especially if I'm particularly tired or having a particularly emotional day for any reason. And just let that ball now move from that space in your low back just up to your left shoulder. And just imagine it surrounding all of your left shoulder blade, even the front of your shoulder, that whole shoulder girdle, infusing it with healing, love, light energy, with that pure green light of Archangel Raphael. Just feel that energy. And just take another second or two here just to kind of feel that. And then let that ball of light, imagine it rolling from your shoulder right down your arm into the palms of your hands, just like you're holding a basketball in your hands. And if you're somewhere where you can do so, you can let your hands just relax out, almost making space for that basketball-sized ball of light. And if you're not, it's okay. You can just imagine feeling it there. And I just want you to, from your heart space, any relationship healing that you might need, any guidance you might need around any of the relationships in your life, just put your healing request inside this green basketball-sized bubble of light. You can just send it right from your heart space right into this bubble between your hands. And even if it's not a challenged relationship, even if you're just wanting deeper connection or more fun or more time with that special friend, it could be a family member, it could be a coworker that you want to have better communication with, it could be anything at all. It could be your relationship with yourself even. Any requests you have or any inspiration you're looking for. Just imagine putting that intention in that bubble. Good. And then just imagine passing that bubble back over your shoulder to Archangel Raphael and let him take it from you and take it into his green light energy. And with him still behind you and off to one side, just imagine letting him expand that green light, letting him expand that energy of him, expanding it into your space. So feel his light over the back of your body. Feel it shining through you. You might even be able to feel it shining right out through the front of your own body. Like he's behind you, just shining his light so bright that it is moving right through your energy, streaming right out the front of your body like you're illuminated with this brilliant emerald green light. And see if you can feel that. It might feel very subtle, just a small shift in the energy. I love this feeling of it streaming out the front of the body. It's interesting. I haven't done it quite this way before. It's a little different to describe it when you can't see me, but I guess your eyes are closed anyway. And as you continue to share this space with Archangel Raphael, just let him put some healing energy around your heart space. And of course, your physical heart, if that's what you need, but also your emotional heart. That area that we think of when we think of heartache or full of love. And just let him do some healing in that heart space, especially around whatever relationship request that you had for him. And you might not receive the inspiration or the guidance in this moment, but you might receive it sometimes later. It's so often why I like to go for those walks I mentioned at the beginning. That is when I usually receive a lot of my inspiration that I've asked for in these type of exercises. And maybe yours will come when you're doing something really mundane, like for me, it's sometimes doing dishes or folding sheets or things like that. Or sometimes you just might get the knowing right away. But see if you can feel that pure green light energy around your heart space. It might slightly move your emotions a little bit. You might feel a little bit emotional. You might feel something shifting in you. Funny little thing, my tummy just started growling. I'm not hungry at all. So I feel some energy moving already. And sometimes that's how it can show up. You might not sense it in your energetic space, but your physical body might have reactions. It's just fun to notice. Let's just spend another moment here with Archangel Raphael, and it's almost as though he's giving you a big energetic hug, and see if you can tune into that frequency of pure love, wanting the best for us, wanting to support you, wanting to hold space for your healing. See if you can feel that version of love that emanates from him, being truly, deeply supported for who you actually are as a soul being, not requiring you to do or be or act in any certain way, but just loving you and just giving this love to you because you invited him in to do so, not needing to qualify or do anything other than just being you, because you are enough. You are divinely guided. You are here for a reason. You are supported by angels. You are meant to be here, and you have the potential to shine your light for others if you choose to. But you also have the potential to shine your light for yourself, as yourself, your true soul self, that highest version of you who has complete confidence and feels fully empowered, feels in integrity with your mission, with your highest expression, with what your soul wants, feeling in that vibration when you're just in the flow and things are working out and you're where you're supposed to be. Feel that love pouring through to you from Archangel Raphael. Good. And see if you can let yourself have a memory of what this feeling feels like so that you can savor it another time. So that if he shows up in your space again, or if you invite him in to work with him, you can feel and remember what this feels like. Knowing that you can share space with him or work with him at any time that you like just by inviting him in. He's always available to you. You're not going to bother him. He can be in many places all at once. He's accessible to all of us. Knowing that you can have this healing, this experience again in any way that you want, any time that you want. And just for now, inviting him to start to draw his energy back out of your space, almost like sucking the smoke out of a room, but we know it's pure, loving, divine light energy. And just feel that there might be remnants of it left in your space. You might still feel like you're glowing a bit. Just allow him to separate completely from you and feel him again behind you and off to one side. Good. Then just gently imagine sending him some gratitude. Either he may be an old friend for you, or you may feel like he's a new friend, but a friend indeed. And like I said, always available to you. And as you give him that gratitude and you feel that exchange, just let that light start to move further and further and further out of your space. Good. Just letting it move completely away, off in the distance, knowing that he's never truly far away. It's just how we shift our awareness and our understanding. So let me know if you liked that experience with Archangel Raphael. And as you come completely back into your own energy, your own space, get a sense of your auric field with just you in it. Again, saying hello to your physical body. When you feel ready, you can gently blink your eyes open. And take a deep breath. Nice. Hopefully that feels good. Hopefully you were able to sense that energy just a little bit. But even if you weren't, no need to be discouraged. It takes some practice. It's such a subtle feeling and such a subtle shift in our space and our auric field that sometimes it just can be kind of hard to realize. Like I was saying, especially if you're tired or not feeling well. Or have something emotional going on for you, something heavy on your heart, for example. Sometimes we're just not as available to feel those subtle energies, and it is a very subtle energy. Perhaps you're able to visualize or imagine that green light. I am so interested how you experienced this, so make sure to leave me a comment if you can figure out how to do it. Make sure to subscribe because all of your listens and your subscribes really mean a lot. And let me know if there's a topic that you're wanting to hear about or learn about. I'm gonna keep this format for a little bit where we're switching back and forth between the interview sessions and the sessions just you and I. So I really feel like it's a perfect time to be doing a lot of our own healing. This counts as self-care for those of us that are trying to make sure that we get our self-care, especially if you are in any kind of work where you're dealing with other people, whether you're in the medical field or some other type of healing or therapy, or you're a teacher, or even if you are a construction worker and have a lot of other people around you. Just all of the energy that's going on right now, all of this time of year in the northern hemisphere anyway, spring coming in, and like Shital was telling us in our episode last week, all of the equinox energy. There's just a lot happening right now. The energy's been kind of prickly for a lot of people, lots of misunderstandings, lots of yeah, just lots of prickly energy. I'll say it that way. And I don't mean from the other side. I mean from the people who are here. So um, a lot of people feel much more tired or overwhelmed than usual. So it can be that too. And that's where calling in Archangel Raphael to do some healing or just to do an experience like this is really powerful and can shift things in your space. It can help you calm down. It can actually move some of the emotions and give you some perspective or make space for inspiration to come in. So there's a lot that can happen. I hope that you enjoyed it. I want to remind you coming up next Sunday, March 19th, we've got that mediumship demonstration, which is a gallery reading. So a group, it's a paid event. Tickets are available. I'll drop the link in the show notes. It's called Spring Forward with Spirit. It's myself and friend of the podcast, Carolyn Wilkins, and we're going to be doing evidential mediumship. So bringing through people's loved ones from the spirit world, giving details, evidence, sharing their love and memories about them so that the sitters, the recipients, can know that their loved ones are still present with them, just in a different way, safe and at peace, but love carries on. So that's going to be Sunday, March 19th. That's going to be a lot of fun. Many attendees will receive personal messages. Depending how many people are there, we might not get to everybody, but you'll also get to see how mediumship works in that way. So I'm really excited about that. That's coming up on March 19th. It is noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. And with the time changes, I think it's 8 p.m. UK, but it might be 7. We are changing our time. Well, it would have been yesterday, Sunday, March 12th. So the time will already be changed for us in the States. UK, I know they're on a little bit of a different schedule than us. So I hope that you will make it to that if you're interested in mediumship, either hearing from a loved one or just seeing how we're demonstrating it. That's why it's called demonstration. You should get to see it demonstrated. So let me know how you like this little Archangel Raphael experience. Again, I want to know what you want to learn, what you want to hear about, what you want me to talk about. I have some fun topics coming up. So send me an email. The best way to do it is admin, so ADMIN, admin at joyfulmedium.com. If you want to be on my VIP insiders list, I do have a free workshop coming up in April that I'm going to start announcing soon. Get on that email list so you can be one of the first ones to know and save your spot. It'll be totally free. It's going to be in April. And just go to my website, joyfulmedium.com, link in the show notes, and get the free 3-day mini course, which is the Signs mini course, and get on my email list. And you will get to hear about the free workshops and the things I've got coming up in April. It's good to be here with you. As you know, lots of love, big hugs. Hopefully you are ready for spring and ready to move into, a new energy. I'm definitely ready in the best possible way. So thanks for being here with me today inside the Spirit Speakeasy. Big hugs. Bye for now.